What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and another hero spotlight. Now, with the Dryad being introduced, it's brought a little bit more of an emphasis back onto the Frosty Apprentice. Now, Frosty Traps is still very effective, and it actually used to be the meta for quite some time, way back in the day, before the prominence gain of the Poison Dart Tower. However, I was surprised to see that I actually didn't have a Frosty Apprentice hero spotlight on the channel, and have started getting some requests for it, so I figured I had better go ahead and knock it out. Now, first things first, the required weapon for this build is the Chilling Touch, and what you're mainly looking for is the Frosty Power passive. Frostbite Tower's chill increases tower defense power by, in my case, 48% of total defense power. Now, a perfect roll on that is 50%. Although I have found lots of 50%ers, I have yet to find one with defense power on it, or with defense power and with Snowstorm, which Snowstorm is the secondary passive that you want on that. Increases the slow effects of Frostbite Tower's chill by 19%. Now, Snowstorm is not actually required, but it is definitely nice to add it there, as it does give a little bit more benefit to the Frostbite Tower itself. Now, this passive, also drops on a medallion, so you're going to want to pick up a medallion with Snowstorm on it as well. Now, the only place to get that Frosty Power, of course, is on the weapon. It's going to be 100% drop rate on Chilling Touch from the Forest Poacher's Incursion, and it also will roll on the Apprentice Galactic weapon that you can farm from Throne Room. Now, moving right along, passives on the rest of the gear are not as important. The number one stat that you want to be concerned with is defense power. Defense crit, you don't really need on it. If you do have it on it, it makes some of your other towers a little more effective if you only have one apprentice. However, the only main stat you really need to concern yourself with is defense power. Now, ideally, you're going to want defense health on your pieces, but once again, not required. You should be putting your Frosty Towers down somewhere where they're not going to be taking damage. So although a little more defense health is nice to have, nowhere near required at all. Now, the only other passive that's required on your gear is going to be Vector Corrector. Vector Corrector is going to roll up to 3%. If you get a good piece that's got 2% on it, like you see I've got right here, just go with it. It's not going to make a huge difference. However, perfect will be 3% rolls. Now, Vector Corrector is going to come on every armor piece, plus on a medallion. So you're going to want to make sure you try to get Vector Corrector on all of those items. Now, in addition to that, let's take a look at the stats. We'll go ahead and reset them here. Now, the Frostbite Tower is not doing any damage. However, the benefit from the Chilling Touch passive does scale off of defense power. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and max out your defense power, get that all the way up. Now, with most builders, we would go ahead and throw in the defense speed and defense range right away. Now, range, of course, is very important, so we're going to go ahead and add that range on there and get it maxed. Defense speed is not going to play an important role with the Frostbite Tower. As the Frostbite Tower channels its beam, the defense speed is not going to give you an additional benefit. So that 130 leftover points, I'm just going to dump right into defense health, just to give my my Frosty Towers a little bit more health. Now, moving on to the sphere sheet, you do have a few required spheres. However, there's also some of the smalls can be a little bit more optional. Now, number one for the Uber, just throw the shielding guard on there, just in case it does take any damage. It's going to give you a little shield. There's really no other Uber that's going to benefit the Frostbite Tower. That's going to be it. So just throw it on and use it. Now, the large freeze sphere with a 45% chance for the Frostbite Tower to freeze its target at the end of its channel for 6 seconds is actually kind of nice and required in that aspect. It's going to give you a lot of CC in a lane in addition to the regular chill effect, plus it's going to allow you that shatter combo for the insta-kill on quite a few mobs. So definitely throw your freeze sphere in the mix. As we look through the other spheres, there's not really anything else that's going to benefit greatly from that passive. So, or from that sphere, so use the freeze sphere in your large. Now, one of the things that are going to get you the big range is the Frostbite range spheres for the mediums, which each one is going to increase the range of your Frostbite tower by 25%. And of course, this is a damage dealing tower. We don't need to have it up there real close. We don't want it to take any damage. So having massive range on this tower is really going to help you out, and it should be your second priority. The first, of course, being defense power. Now, on that same note, for the spheres, I'm taking 2 range spheres. There's 2 different range spheres you can bring for the Frostbite tower. The first is range sphere 1, which you can have up to 3 of these. So you can put all 3 of those in to your small slots. However, there is a range sphere 2 as well. That's going to be 4% increased range. You can only have 1 of these though, but definitely you want to pick that one up. Now, since I'm very happy with my range, which is currently at 5464, it's not the maximum as far as it can go, but it's more than effective for every build that I use. I don't use all 3 range spheres in the small sphere section. I decide to go ahead and throw one of them out of there and use a defense power sphere 5, which is going to give me an additional 42 defense power in the mix. So that should get you covered with the spheres, and it is important to realize how the benefit of the Frosty Tower works. As the Frosty Tower hits an enemy, of course it's going to cause a cloud around that enemy, which is going to slow the other baddies that are nearby. Now, in addition to that, that little area of effect cloud, if there are any defenses that are in that area, it's going to get you the benefit of the Frosty Power passive and that increased defense power. Now, it scales differently with different defenses. Like with the case of the Dryad, it makes the slimes just ridiculous. It makes them hit really, really hard, and it does a great job adding to a Frosty Traps build as well. Now, since it only affects those defenses that are in the range of that little cloud, it's only going to affect defenses that you're using on the ground. Now, if you're using like flamethrower towers or something that's close enough to get the benefit, you're still going to be able to use it. However, it's most risk-free and most effective with any ground type trap. So a trap, an aura, the slimes or the hornets, an oil geyser from the Lavamancer, anything that you're throwing on the ground itself with an area of effect on the ground is going to get the benefit from Frosty Power. As far as a pet goes, do what you want. You need defense power on there, that's your number 1. The number 2 doesn't matter. I personally go with defense health, and as you see, I'm using the Evil Wick, which any of the creeper pets have the chance of giving you the curse ability, which is going to give you that boost in run speed for 10 seconds. This is helpful when you're setting maps up, of course, and I try to get it on all of my builders, either Curse or Sandstorm, just so you can navigate the map quickly and get your build set up in a timely manner. So hope this helps everyone out. We'll see you. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, click that like button and mash this big J over here to subscribe to the channel. Thanks again. We'll see you soon.